Welcome to the Quantum Legacy series, where we revisit the original shortwave radio broadcasts of Dr. Robert Marshall, founder of Quantum Nutrition Labs. These episodes are a window into the early days of clean, quantum state nutrition, a philosophy that still drives everything we do at QNL today. Please note, this is archival content. Any product mentions, pricing, or special offers discussed may no longer be valid. Let's dive into this timeless broadcast and explore the legacy that helped shape the future of natural health.
Welcome to Healthline Now, hosted by world-renowned clinical nutritionist Dr. Robert Marshall, PhD, of Quantum Nutrition Labs. He believed that the secrets of optimal health lie not within costly techniques, but in the body's own theorized energy field. Using these concepts, Dr. Marshall touched the lives of countless people throughout the globe with this effective and insightful nutritional system, a methodology he coined as the quantum nutrition effect. Don't miss this nutritional legend whose insightful ideas revolutionized natural health care. To speak with an experienced representative regarding your own health concerns, please call Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and weekends, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We hope you and your loved ones can experience the quantum nutrition effect. Please join us for Healthline Now with Dr. Marshall.
Welcome to Healthline Live. This is your opportunity to call in, get your nutrition and health-related questions answered with the latest 21st century discoveries. Today, we're going to be focused on the health of your bladder, urinary tract, the prostate, and of course the lungs. We'll start a little bit of explanation about that. Of course, the bladder, the urinary tract, the prostate, and the lungs all have in common mucous membranes, and you're going to see very quickly that support across the board may be the vitamin D3 that you need, because there's been so much discovery there as to what's going on. And we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But let's start with the bladder and the urinary tract. And many times people are getting up at night to urinate. It kind of disturbs their sleep. And it's not terrible, but it's aggravating. And you don't feel as rested in the morning. And it starts fairly innocuously, whether you're male or female. And often all the body needs is a little more in the way of bioflavonoids. And wow, one of the powerhouses for delivering about 500 different bioflavonoids is our pollen de fleur. And it's the best source that I've found. And this, of course, maybe taking 2 of these 3 times a day for a few weeks, see if it doesn't hit the spot and work perfectly for you. If so, great. Then after about 3 or 4 weeks, most people can cut down to 1 or 2 per day, and that can be just exactly what you need in terms of these bioflavonoids. Sometimes the bladder, you've gone on a long time with this, and the bladder is not happy. In fact, biofilms can form. These are thick, sticky, sugary sacs stuck on the mucous membrane like dried mucus, very hard. And the best bet in helping the body to clear these is the active fractions from garlic, allicin, and of course that's rich in the garlicidin product. So this may be just what you need, is to maybe take some bladder support, because it's engineered to target nutrients toward the bladder and to provide all the broad spectrum of need for the bladder tissue, and then maybe taking 2 or 3 bladder support right along with 2 or 3 garlicidin support, maybe just what you need for the cases where you might have a little biofilm. And of course, these biofilms, if they do form, and they form when we leave a problem go for a long time, that's when we really want to and get help with the biofilm. And of course, they can be formed at almost any age. So bladder support right along with garlicidin can be a big help there. And this is shifting gears, going from the simplest help to a more sophisticated support for the bladder and the urinary tract. So just give a buzz to our order line, 800-370-3447, 800-370-3447. Let's go right to the phones. This is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live. Let's go to Mary in Dallas, Texas. Let's see. And she's concerned about her circulation. Are you there, Mary?
Yes, I'm listening.
How old a woman are you, and how much do you weigh?
62 and 150.
Okay, well, the first thing that I can tell you is that whenever there's an issue with the arteries, the very first thing that has to be done is to stop all refined oils, because these are the guys that have been shown to really crowd the arteries, okay? So that's going to be your first step, and that means olive oil, canola oil, anything made with oil like salad dressing. So in the future, if you were eating out, you'd get a salad and you'd have vinegar and oil on the side. You'd use the vinegar, no oil, okay?
So that means I have to eat food with no oil at all?
That's correct. And you're going to do a 90-day holiday.
Okay.
And wait till you see how you feel. And then you will grudgingly return some oil, but not like you have now.
Okay.
Okay. Next step is you get on something called cardio PG. Okay. And here you would want to use, you're 150, you want to use about 3 teaspoons per day. You would take it after breakfast in about, maybe 12 ounces of water, and you're going to use that for 4 months. Okay? But the origin of all of this is usually your digestion. And if you don't ever want to do this again, then you need to fix the digestion. You knew that. Okay, I could tell you knew that. So you need to take a couple of Quantum Digest at the start of any cooked food meal, any meal for you right now. And then the end of the meal, betaine hydrochloride, about 4, maybe, 4 would be good. And now I think you'll be very pleased. The body gets the nutrition it wants. It's amazing what it can do. Okay?
So what do you think about aspirin 81 milligram?
Aspirin, I don't think there's any conclusive study. There was a study said it worked. There was a study after it said it didn't work. So I don't think that's any kind of solution at all.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye now. All right. This is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and we're answering your nutrition and health-related questions. Let's go to Bob in Southern California, and his wife has some unusual bags under her eyes. Are you there, Bob?
I am here.
And how old is your wife, and how much does she weigh?
She's 57, about 5'4", about 165, I think.
Okay, and this has been there a long time?
No,
or?
it just started. Our daughter moved way out of state, and
Okay.
it upset her so much. She was crying a lot.
I see.
Every night for a month and a half.
I see. Well, the bags under the eyes usually are linked to kidney. So when she had children, do you know if she tore rectally to vaginally and they had to sew her up?
It was just a really small. Just on the third child, there was a really small.
Yep.
It was like two. It was like one or two stitches, and that was it.
Okay. All right. Well, that is an interference field, a scar that reflexes to kidney. And that's usually the guy that after 20 or 30 years or so can really make a mess of the kidney. So the first thing you'd want to do to help her is to get her on some kidney support. And at her body weight and her age, about 3 per meal. And then the second thing you want to do is mud pack that scar, get the energy to permanently flow through it, and then 2 or 3 or 4 months of support for the kidney. It's the laziest guy in town, and you should see that the two together can promote a lasting benefit for the kidney, and you don't need to continue supporting kidney. That's the really key thing, Bob.
So what is the material? Is it actually oil or is it water that's underneath there that causes?
Well, it's most likely a shift of the fatty tissue of the eye from pressure that comes, and after a while that tissue will not return. So the sooner you take care of it, the better the outcome.
Every day she gets up, it kind of moves around.
That's correct, because that's fatty tissue. And you got to get the pressure off it, and you get the pressure off it by supporting the kidney. Okay?
Okay, so you don't think it's just water retention?
No, ma'am. No, sir. If it were just water retention, you would see stuff in her legs as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye now. All right, this is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and the next thing that we wanted to cover today is the issue of the prostate, because this also plays a very key role in male health, and there's been so much research and information regarding the prostate, but basically the first step to promote the best health for the urinary tract and the prostate is pollen de fleur, to promote its best health. And if there's no improvement or not enough improvement there, then there's no reason to not go on to something stronger like our prostate support, which provides the best support I've been able to find on the planet for the prostate and the urinary tract in men. And here you might go to 2 or 3 per meal, depending on how big a person you are. And this guy, you need 30 to 60 days to see if it's working well, but this is the best combination of nutrient support for the prostate I've been able to find. So I think that can be another really, really great ace. I do think that lycopene, which would come from tomato and tomato concentrates, may also be of help for the prostate. So what else can affect the prostate? Well, for some of you on medications which may have induced prostate challenge, magnesium may also be helpful. But there are many, many of you out there that have had injuries to the head or to the upper or lower front 4 teeth. These points may reflex directly to the prostate, or you've had a vasectomy or a hernia surgery, and a few years later, you're experiencing issues with prostate. This is the interference field and something you definitely want to deal with, because each 4 or 5 years that go by, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And interference fields are scar traumas that are sedating the healthy energy flow to the key organ or gland, and they're unrelenting. They're slow but unrelenting, and nutrients can slow them down, but nothing dead stops them. So you want to get them mud packed and get rid of them. Just give a buzz to our order line. They can also help you with prostate support. Just give a buzz to our order line, 800-370-3447. That's 800-370-3447. All right, let's go right back to the phones here. Okay, let's go to Linda in Philadelphia, and she has a granddaughter that she's concerned about the immune system for her. Okay.
Yes.
Is this on her face, or how old is the granddaughter?
22.
Oh, so this is not on the face. It's
sometimes she just has like fine bumps around her jawline, but most of the time she's at her backside.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, there are some things that might help. Number one, she can go on olive leaf. We have a product that's loaded with olive leaf, and olive leaf is a wonderful immune support in that it tends to neuter whatever is going on. Peanut butter and mycotoxic foods like corn products tend to aggravate all this, and getting on some Dragon Cleanse LX, which will trap most all of these weird toxins in the food, should also be a really big help. Mm-hmm. Those are a couple things, but she has to be prepared to do this for 1.5 years, 2 years, because it's very slow.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's right. So I asked him about the olive leaf for the order line, and also the Dragon, Dr.
Dragon Cleanse LX.
Cleanse. Okay, I'm writing it. Cleanse.
LX.
LX.
It's a clay.
Okay.
It's a clay you'll take when you eat, so it can trap most all the toxins that are in the
Okay,
gut.
great. Okay.
Okay.
Right, this sounds great. Now, where do I call?
800-370.
370.
3447.
47. Great. 3447.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Take care.
Thank you very, very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right. This is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and we're answering your nutrition and health-related questions. Let's go right back to the phones, and let's go to Rose in Elk Grove, California, and she's had open heart surgery about 8 months ago, and she's got half of the scar burns, constantly runny nose. Yep, very, very common. Are you there, Rose?
Yes, I am.
How old a woman are you, and how much do you weigh?
I'm 172. I'm at 72, 180.
Okay, well, the first thing that you're going to want to know is that to speed the recovery, you want to get on something called nucleotides. And nucleotides are the building block of a cell, and it takes 6 billion nucleotides to make one cell. So our goal is to put you on at your body weight about 4 per meal, and to do this for probably 3 to 4 months. This will do a whole bunch of things. Number one, it's going to give you the nutrients you need to promote the complete recovery of that scar, okay? The runny nose, however, is a little warning that you can't digest your food. And the mucus is produced from the sinus to the anus to block the uptake of a food or a substance that the body considers a threat. And that's the food that you ate that you couldn't digest.
You know, I heard you talk to a woman last week about this, and I said, that's exactly my problem, too.
Yeah. Well,
and the quantum and the hydro and the activator is what I need, right?
Exactly right. And at your body size and your age, about two quantum digest at the start of a main cooked meal. The end of the meal, about 4 to 6 betaine hydrochloride and 2 or 3 activator. And now you digest more the way you did when you're in your 20s. The other thing that will minimize scarring, minimize it and let it shrink down to next to nothing, is no refined oil. So that means when you eat a salad, you're going to have vinegar or vinaigrette. You're not going to have any oil. There's no olive oil, nothing like that. And the best you can, you're going to avoid food made with oil. It's very difficult to do, especially if you end up eating out. You never know what they're doing. But at home, you can produce rice. You can make so many things that taste good that aren't laden with this oil, which so burdens the gallbladder and the liver, and is now highly suspect in why scarring may burn or not heal completely, because these oils are inundating the liver and the gallbladder. And so,
what about olive oil?
No
olive oil is bad?
No refined.
No oil at all.
See, the funny thing about this whole thing, Rose, is that we as children have seen oil all our life. Even way back in the times of Jesus, there was refined oil. But it's the gorilla in the room that's been invisible. We could smell it because we see that everybody over 40 has some kind of problem with the gallbladder. And under 40, they don't. So it takes about 40 years for those oils to really make a mess. But now they've been linked to elevated incidence of all heart disease, cancer, and so many other illnesses. But in your case, it's linked to impairing your recovery. So even if you only do a 90-day holiday, Rose, do it.
Okay, so you think maybe a 3-month deal on this?
Yep, that's what I think.
Okay, good. Now, one other thing, I'm at the age that I just barely scrape my arm or something, and I get it black and blue.
Isn't that
there
aggravating?
You can do?
Yeah, of course. Of course. That is kidney. So the 2 questions you have to ask. First question is, have you had children? Did you tear rectally to vaginally and have a episiotomy?
No children.
Wonderful. Okay, so then all I have to do is There's a product called Quantum Hair, Skin, and Nails, and this will promote a thickening of the skin, but it also gives you beautiful hair and nails. This is solubilized keratin. Really nice product. So what you'll do is you'll take 2 per day, and what you should notice is after about 3-4 weeks, it's really kicked in. Then you can cut to 1 per day thereafter.
Okay.
What happens to us is as we age, by the time we're 50, our skin is half its thickness. By the time we're 70, our skin is about 35% the thickness it was when you were 18.
Okay.
This will take you back to about, it'll help you to hold about a little more than 50% of your original thickness, so you're going to love it.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
All right?
All right.
Work on it.
Thanks so much for your
You're
time.
welcome. Bye now. All right, this is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and I do want to cover one last aspect of today's subject, and that has been to discuss the prostate and the urinary tract, but also, of course, we wanted to touch on the lungs. And the lungs are giant mucous membranes, and of course, they're actually in Chinese medicine the backup to your large intestine. So when we're not digesting well, we can expect junk to be dumped into the lungs, and all manner of problems can arise with the lungs. And in almost every case, what we have to start with is to improve digestion. When we promote the best health for digestion, we can greatly reduce the load on the lungs. When we get vitamin D levels to the ideal, maybe 60 to 100 nanograms per milliliter in the blood, just about no one who's wearing clothing has a really ideal vitamin D3 level, and it's been shown to be involved in literally all of the immune compounds the body makes. It's been shown to be very critical to the intestinal lining, the integrity of the lining, to the health of the lungs, and so much more. So jumping on our D3 Gold, maybe using 6 to 10 drops a day. If you're under 40, usually you can absorb this really well. If you're over 40, then it might be a good idea to put those 6 to 10 drops into a half ounce of water and add to it 3 or 4 drops of limonene. That's an essential oil of orange. Mix it really good, and now it takes the D3 to tiny, tiny little dots, and it makes it really, it emulsifies it, so it makes it really easy for you to absorb it and get its maximum help for the intestines and for the lungs. And another wonderful thing that can be done is Dragon Cleanse LX, because of the extraordinary ability for this clay to bind to a wide variety of toxins in the GI tract, and it can trap these toxins in the bowel, keep them there, keep them from hitting the bloodstream and hitting the lungs, and then they can be excreted and not reabsorbed by the body. So today, give a buzz to our order line, 800-370-3447. That's 800-370-3447. All right? This is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and we're answering your nutrition and health-related questions. Let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to James in Ohio, and he's concerned he may have a protein buildup in his colon. That's certainly possible. Are you there, James?
Yes, Doctor. Yes, Dr. Marshall, yes.
And how old a man are you, and how much do you weigh?
Yes, Doctor, I'm 57-year-old and 140 weight. My BP is 135 over 85 average.
Okay.
And I'm only taking thyroid pills. And last October, I went to physical checkup. So they said, due to your age, you need a colonoscopy checkup. So when they did biopsy, they said you have protein buildup. And then after that, they sent me to the oncology department. Then they went to further test, which is from head to toe. They did all my tests, like radiology, PET scan, some other tests.
And they said you're in good health?
Everything is negative.
Wonderful.
Except they check the GI test. It also shows a protein buildup in the stomach.
Well, you see, what's happening here at your age is you can no longer digest the food the way you did when you were 20.
Yes, that's true, doctor. Now, what they're saying is they said the protein is like amyloid buildup. You know, I really don't know what is amyloid. They said this is amyloid buildup.
No, that doesn't. Amylase would be an enzyme that would help digest starch.
Yeah,
so that's kind of weird. I think what you need to do is get on some digestive support so that you can digest your food better and maybe increase the bulk of your food. Maybe jump on some of our fiber immune and take a couple of tablespoons of that with your breakfast so that you can create a large bulk transiting the gut to help move out anything that might be stuck in there. Also, you can use something called quantum cleanse. And if you did that, then I would move galactin to lunch, and I would take the cleanse in the morning to scrub the intestinal lining and help clean things up. But the most important thing is when you eat your main meal, your main cooked meal, you would want to have at least one, maybe two Quantum Digest at the start of that meal, the end of that meal, about 2 or 3 betaine hydrochloride. Now you're digesting more like you did in your 20s, so it ought to not leave undigested stuff stuck around. Okay, buddy?
Yeah, I see.
Take care. Okay. Bye now. All right, this is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live. We're answering your nutrition and health-related questions. Let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Michelle in Windsor, Canada, and her 10-year-old daughter. Can she take melatonin? Hi there, Michelle.
Hi, Dr. Marshall.
And absolutely your daughter can, especially if you've given her one of those darn cell phones.
No, I haven't, but she's around,
all the time.
We live in, you know, the world. There's
be a good idea to give her
exposure.
1 or 2 drops at bedtime. It should give her a much deeper sleep.
Okay, and in general for, the whole thing with cell phone towers and computer exposure and, everything that's all around us at all times, Wi-Fi, everywhere you go, you've got that. Is there any supplement that you recommend? Melatonin is a good one, right?
Well, that's one of the main things that may be depleted by EMF exposure, but obviously we want to make sure that your child and yourself and your husband and everyone has the first morning urine pH that's in control, and then that you're digesting your food well. Now, for your daughter, digestion, you just want to monitor salt and know how to do that.
Yeah.
And hopefully you know how to do that. So if you do, then her digestion will be good until she's maybe 25 or 30.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Bye now.
Okay, bye-bye.
This is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and we were focusing on all the major mucous membranes in the body, the bladder and urinary tract, the prostate, and the lungs. And the last thing we just chatted about was the lungs, but they all have one nutrient in common. They all need vitamin D3, and boy, you want to jump on that. It's inexpensive, it's convenient, and just about no one on earth is vitamin D sufficient. As soon as we put clothes on, it's hard for all of us to have ideal levels of D3, and that means that it's going to be tougher for us to have the best bone metabolism because D3 is needed there. It's going to be tougher for us to have the best immune response because it's literally every aspect of the immune system depends on vitamin D3. And if that's not enough, all the mucous membranes depend on it, from the lungs all the way through to the intestines and the prostate. They all depend on vitamin D3. So be sure that you get on our D3 Gold, and if you're over 40 or over, you ought to add limonene with it so that you can be sure it's fully emulsified and easy to absorb. And that guy will help across the board for the bladder, the prostate, the lungs, everybody. But do remember, the lungs are your backup to the large intestine. And the 2 ways that literally everybody in America dies is 1, they don't have enough minerals, and 2, they can't digest and absorb their food. So somewhere around age 30, it's a really good idea to begin supporting your digestive system so you don't have to deal with a crash when you're 40 or 50 or 60. So to do that, you'd get on our Quantum Digest and our betaine hydrochloride. And if you want to slow the aging, you'd add the HCl activator as well. And if you call the order line, they're going to help you with all that, so don't miss out on it. And if you want more support for the prostate, we've got our prostate support. If you're getting up at night, we, of course, have our pollen de fleur to help you. And if you need maximum bladder support, you'd get on bladder support right along with our garlicidin so that you can promote the best health of that mucous membrane area. Just give a buzz to our order line, 800-370-3447, 800-370-3447. Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Cole in Northern California, and he's calling about his mom's knee. She fell on it, and it's swelled up, and it's got fluid, and someone is suggesting she do a knee replacement. Are you there, Cole?
Yes.
And
yes,
how old's your mom, and how much does she weigh?
She's 85, about 135.
Well, here's the problem. At that age, unless you can get her first morning urine pH into the green zone, 6470, she's not able to build new bone. So if she did a knee replacement, I don't know how it would finish repairing and integrating into the body.
Okay.
So she's too old. So you have homework if you want to help her. Number one, you've got to get her to digest her food, because at 75, she was at 0 for hydrochloric acid and pancreatic enzymes.
Yeah.
So the odds of her digesting her food are terrible. So every day she eats, the food is rotting. So the first thing we need to do is get her on to some pancreatic enzymes and pepsin, like Quantum Digest, maybe a couple of those. And then the end of the meal, you'll want to get her on 3 or 4 betaine hydrochloride, but I would start with 1 and make sure she doesn't have any burning reaction or anything like that, because it's possible she's had a C-section, a hysterectomy, some scar trauma on the center line, like a nose surgery or blow, and if so, she may not be able to take HCl.
Right. Okay.
And if she can't, then you would have to make her a tea from stomach support, about 2 capsules, and you just empty them in a cup, fill the cup with water at a high boil, stir it, steep it, and let it stand 10 minutes, drink it before she eats. Now she can take the HCl without any burning. Okay. Now she, for the first time in maybe 10, 15, 20 years, she's getting nutrition from her food. Now, after a week or 2 of that, you can start paying attention by checking every 3 days her first morning urine pH. Okay?
Right.
And our goal here is to get her to the green zone, 6.4 to 7.0.
Okay.
And once you get her in that zone, whoa, now the knee may heal up and not need anything at all.
Okay.
But the worst case scenario, if we still needed a knee replacement, now you could hope for it to heal and for her to be able to walk on it and have a good life.
Okay.
And
she's been taking, she's been taking that bone and joints.
Well, that could be helpful, but remember, bone metabolism depends on kidney and parathyroid. So if she's been taking that and the morning urine pH is not okay, and I doubt it will be because of the digestion, you would need to get her support for kidney and parathyroid. Parathyroid support is just 1 or 2 chlorella, and the kidney support is just that. Kidney support maybe about 3 per meal. And now you should see the pH moving if she's using bone and joint.
Okay.
And she can also use greens mix. And those 2, maybe 2 tablespoons in a smoothie per day of the greens mix. See if you can't get that pH to move. If you do, you'll be amazed at the agility and function that can return to the body. And remember, this lady is, most of your gene deck is from her, 64%. So future paced, you're her. So this is a good opportunity for you trying to love her to be blessed yourself and get this fixed early on for you so you don't have to struggle. Okay?
Okay. Also, she's on her other leg, her ankle's been swelling up too.
Yeah, that's kidney.
And that's what I told her that you would.
So we need to use at least 3, or if that's happening, 4 per meal of kidney support, and you should see that settles down. And then the parathyroid will be 1 or 2 teaspoons of green tea, PG. Now you can use the greens mix, the bone and joint. Check every 3 days and see if you can't push that pH in the green zone. And if you're having trouble, up the greens mix. See if you can. I would use about 6 bone and joint per meal. And then I would start with 2 tablespoons of greens mix. And I'd go to check every 3 days. If it's going up, forget about it. You know, it may start at 8 or 7. If it does, that's ammonia. So then it'll crash down to 5. Then it'll work its way back up.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, buddy. You're welcome. Bye now. Bye. All right. This is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live. Let's go right back to the phones. Let's go to Amanda in Colorado. Let's see, Amanda in Virginia, and she's got some thinning hair. Are you there, Amanda?
Yes, I am.
And how old a woman are you? How much do you weigh?
I'm 69, and I weigh about 144.
Okay. Well, where is the hair thinning? Over the whole head?
No, mostly on the left side. It's kind of odd, but not too much. And the hair is I've noticed my hair is kind of elasticy. And I have a health doctor, and she tried Synthroid, she tried natural thyroid, all these things. None of it worked.
Well,
and now I haven't had anything or been doing anything. And whereas my thyroid was swollen for a long time, for several years, now it's not.
Wonderful.
I know,
well, maybe you're eating a little more fish and getting a little more iodine, so your thyroid doesn't need to swell up so much to try to get that iodine.
Okay.
And getting on some sea vegetable concentrate like our Xeno-X, maybe taking 3 of those a day, might make sure that day in and day out you've got plenty of iodine so that you're able to maintain what the thyroid needs. Where you're living in Virginia, you're not exactly in the goiter belt where there's no iodine, but you're close.
Okay.
So and you may be eating more fish now, which can make a big difference. Now, in my take on the hair, the way you're describing it, I would be much more concerned about an injury or trauma to the left side of the body because it's mostly left-sided. Now, commonly at your age, the most common cause for the hair to thin like that is that the gallbladder is not at its best structure and function. So going on a little bit of, at your body weight, maybe 3 teaspoons per day of gallbladder PG might just give you a much nicer, easier time going off to sleep and much more oil to your hair and to your skin so that the drying effect, which may be triggering the hair thinning, would be minimized. But knowing it's left side, I think you're going to need to find out if you've sustained a blow or trauma to the left side of your head, maybe as a small child. You may not even be aware of it. But once that's mud packed, the energy flows freely through there, you may see just a number of changes because these interference fields that act for a long, long time have the ability to choke the life out of key organs and glands.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't have, I had Lyme's about 5 years ago. I had 2 years of really good treatment and lots of prayer, and I've really gotten so well. But what I did do is have my gallbladder out during that time.
Yes.
Because they were concerned that sometimes it stores the Lyme.
Wow.
And maybe it did, so maybe that's why I'm well. But anyway, so I don't even have a gallbladder.
Okay, so that's definitely a major factor in the hair thinning.
Oh.
Ah, yes. Okay, so because you can't absorb oils well. And so usually what happens is one of two things. You get very thin and wrinkly, or you get very fat because you absorb the oil and store them as fat from the large intestine. So in either case, I don't like door number 1 or door number 2, so we really need to make door number 3. And unfortunately, you got to make it. And so you'd go on gallbladder PG. Now you're going to clear the bile veins because the gallbladder's gone. And you would use that for about 4 months. And after 3 weeks, you would start 2 coffee enemas per week. Nothing I have ever seen in my lifetime gives more beautiful hair and skin, and you do that for 13 weeks.
Now, I have been doing those. I haven't been so good at it lately. Maybe that's the reason with the hair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
but the reason you have,
okay.
Did you ever use synthetic hormones?
I do. I take
Okay, then I'm going to have to finish with you off the air because I need a minute here. But I can tell you that that may have created a B6 dependency, which may have led to this whole problem. Just stay right there, and I'll be back with you in just a little bit, okay? All right, this is Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. This is Healthline Live, and tell a friend so they can learn how to really take care of this body. God bless you all. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to the Quantum Legacy series, your journey into the foundations of clean, quantum state nutrition. While these broadcasts were originally aired years ago, the principles shared still guide us at Quantum Nutrition Labs today. Please note, any offers or pricing mentioned may no longer be valid. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd be grateful if you subscribed, left a review, or shared this podcast with someone who values natural health. Your support helps us keep the legacy alive. To learn more about our current products and mission, visit qnlabs.com. Until next time, be well and stay connected to nature.